Hello, Ren. Um, there we go. I should have had a clicker by the number of times that you were saying and like. So, you know what? I don't really know when I'm watching you. I watched your whole Twitch video, and and if we're gonna be, it sounds like what you're doing is coming up with a bunch of names, but you're always seeming like you're talking about me in everything. And there's so many different, I think that it's different ways you have of expressing yourself. And then, of course, I've seen uh, your, your, what would you say, your mannerisms change when I used to watch you all the time in many different ways. And I don't know exactly what you're doing whenever you're, I think the word would be reaching out to me. And for me to get, and I think that now that I think of the last lyrics in your song that I heard about burning what the preacher says, that my first response is that I want to, you know, get up on my podium and start telling you about what should be acceptable and all of these things. But what you're saying is a lot of things that I have done before that I don't do anymore. And how am I supposed to approach you when I don't understand what you're getting at? I've said before that once you decide to quit a habit, it is all in the power of your mental capacity to do that, and whether that's prescription drugs or something you're getting off the streets, those are things that you have the power to quit. It's the reason is not the reason is because of your health, because you get benefits. I think you get benefits in your body and your mind and spiritually and with divinity, I guess, God, when you make those kinds of sacrifices, even though you might feel like something feels better to you if you don't feel good, uh, like emotionally, sometimes once you decide to go ahead and see how good you can feel without it, then it things improve, definitely improve. Now I relate to how you were talking based upon what I was saying about the kinds of links that you go to, um, to be in relationships. Now, I used to be a person who would buy a bunch of clothes, but it's been so many years since I've done that. Um, that was like, I guess when I was coming out of the mental institution, and I think I've you must know about all these things, but I went through a period where I refused to speak at all, and I would just signal with my hands if I wanted something, and uh, um, at one point I was taking inventory of all my clothes and my shoes, the high heel shoes, and uh, I used to love dressing up like a you know I guess a Barbie doll, sort of trying to get a boyfriend, and those things did not make me happy. And I think that I realized the more um, the less I thought about you. You know, it's kind of a there's something that's transferred with that whole idea of having a bunch of clothes, because I don't really care so much about having a bunch of clothes nowadays, but I do enjoy having work outfits. And I know that's not, I mean, it's not the same thing, because a outfit goes with a job that you can do, and you get to, try on all these different hats of skills and abilities that you can learn how to do. And so that kind of just flipped into a transfer of one thing becoming something else. And how many, you know, these is what I'm trying to talk about. How many different jobs am I able to teach myself how to do? And um, it's always something that I'm striving for. And as far as weightlifting and exercise and all those things, all it is to me now is getting into the habit, because I want to be in, tip top shape as I age. And it really doesn't have anything to do with anybody looking at my body. I mean, of course, I would like to think about being able to, you know, do it with a person, but you know, still, I would lift weights and be in shape nonetheless. But so it is a deal breaker for me if you're gonna be on drugs or tobacco or any of those things. And I've already told you that before. I don't want to lecture you. I do not want to lecture you. First of all, I don't, I don't, you do, you don't even have to communicate with me. And I still have that inkling that you are the same person that I hear inside my head. And whether or not you want to disguise my name and call me a bunch of different people when it's obviously that I'm on your mind all of the time, it's I'm not going to let that kind of stuff get to me. I don't like it that you do that. I don't care who knows. You don't really care who knows, because it seems like everybody who you are in contact with knows about me. So it's really silly. I don't have anything to hide about it. I you know, I don't think that you would dedicate years of your life to knowing anything about me if you didn't find it a useful thing to do. Now, as far as um, what else do you want to discuss? Do you have any deal breakers about the kind of behaviors that I have? Because I know there's a few that I could do better at, but I think that, I'm trying my best. And I don't think that I don't want to play games to, try and make each other feel bad when it seems like it's not the truth. It's not the truth. And maybe you are pushing me a little bit to come out of my shell and to let you see me, or let whoever see me as who I am. Um, just I don't really think I need therapy. I need a I need hugs and emotional connection, and a responsible person to build a life with. As far as having 5 or 6 children, I just am kind of collecting up those numbers so that it's it's more about thinking, I don't know, it's kind of hard thinking I need to do something important and not sure how I can have that kind of influence on anybody if they're not my children. You know, want to create some good people that come from my own blood with a person I love. It's not a requirement, but I have the desire. Um, I still think it's you inside my head, even if it sometimes seems like you have a lot of different personalities. I like to think of you as the good a very good part of myself. Very good part of myself. And I like it whenever I get to see you. I know. Tear up because it shows me a lot more than what you're trying to. What would you say? I've noticed you do it many times. Put on sort of a, would you say, a front and try to be seeming like you're a tough person to get me to respond, and then I can see it all over your face, the emotions behind it. And you know me really well. So there's not I don't how can I have a debate with you or a discussion with you when if you already know my thoughts? Now as far as you saying that your song was about selling your soul to the devil, I'm not the devil, okay? I would only want good things for you. So consider what you're calling the devil, because there's the if you're talking about something evil, well, don't make a video like that if that's how you think of it. But if you're talking about um, a romantic gesture, and there's so many ways that you can frame things in your mind. I don't necessarily like the way the either side of the spectrum of good and evil if it comes to trying to say that your flesh is against you or anything like that. It's not. You just gotta. Um, I, if I would get the chance to be mother, I would like to make sure that my children knew that there is no war against your body. You just have to train your mind to take good care of your body. There's nothing things about masturbation or or um, or whatever it is have been blown out of proportion, and anything that you are doing or you have been suggested to do which is going to turn you against yourself is something that you don't need to be doing. That's all. And I've gone over the whole thing about sin before. If it is a harm to yourself or anybody else, it's a sin, and don't do it. It doesn't have to be made so complicated. Now, I could tell you about some of the different vitamins that I take right now, um, and 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 you could say, have you changed since you wanted to take um, some sort of pills, and how long has it been since I've uh, taken pills? I can tell you how I felt when I was trying to get stimulants. I was in a very bad place. That was when, um, well, of course, I was drinking alcohol then, but I had gone through the rape in Colorado, and I went through this period where I was sleeping so much that it was hard for me to function, and I um, I wasn't my mind was not um, organized enough for myself, and I was a scared person back then, and that's not how it is today. And there are things that I would like to do with my time, and one of those is uh, to know about herbal remedies that are good for you from plants. Nothing that's going to be an escape. Uh, what would you call it? Anything that is created to help you escape from your feelings instead of working through your feelings is nothing that I want to have anything to do with. Now, when it comes to caffeine, um, I'm sensitive to caffeine. I don't even like to drink coffee anymore. What I drink now is I'll have one V8 Energy, and then I drink black tea, which um has theanine or something like that in there. It's called Peak Energy, and I have 1 to 2 cups of black tea. I don't like the way coffee makes me feel because I get um, jitters from coffee. I do not get the jitters from drinking tea. But if I'm in the habit of doing a lot of cardiovascular exercise, then I have to decrease my caffeine intake. And sometimes if I decide that I'm going to do construction from dawn till dusk, I will have an extra cup of caffeine. So that's the only stimulant that I will take now. And I do, and as far as the vitamins that I take B6, B12, a eye vitamin, a multivitamin, and cayenne pepper. And that's one of the things I'm growing in my backyard is cayenne pepper, because the what's it called, hypoglycemia, where you feel like you need sugar and you get dizzy. Um, Cayenne pepper takes that away. It doesn't happen anymore. So I don't have to have anything with sugar, which is definitely a good thing of that. And then also, never have to take allergy medicine. So those are the two reasons. And then also, cayenne pepper is supposed to be a blood thinner. So those are the reasons why I take those things. My eyesight is it seems like it's continuously improving. But another thing that I think is that when you make changes, and this is the reason why um, working on getting rid of your sins and doing better with your self care is so important, is because it seems like you receive these benefits um, with your health and your spirituality and things like your eyesight or whatever it is, because you're making good choices. And um, and those are good enough reasons to to pay attention to those kinds of things and make the sacrifice to I'm gonna do good for myself, and that's gonna improve my life, and that will improve the life of the people who I am involved with. Now, I feel a lot differently about how I watched a lot of your stuff 2 years ago. Has it been 3 years? I don't know, but even though I went for a long time, just checking to see if you would write me, and a lot of times there was not. But now you've started to talk to me a lot more. Um, I have always heard you. At least I'm pretty sure that it's you inside of my mind, and so I need that to match up with the person that I'm seeing on the video camera. There's I want to be as good to the people I care about as I am towards myself. And if I think that we're in love with each other, and you make you do so much, that we need to get this sorted out. We need to get it sorted out. I've told you so many times, do what your heart calls you to do. And I don't want you to be having to act out this old past that I've had, that I don't live anymore. I don't want you to be bound to anything like that. What is that going to put you doing for the rest of your life if you're just kind of following my footsteps? I don't, you know. That's not. And I do think it's one of the like, okay, so if you talk about wanting to um, give your children a head start or something like that, communication is one good way of doing that. You brought up being on a pedestal again, putting someone on a pedestal. Do you think that you put me on a pedestal? Sometimes it seems like that you do. Definitely seems like you do. And why don't we just equal things out? We don't have to have this thing going on. Just be like, hey, we don't know how to. Why do you eat rice cakes anyways? Is it because that I said that I wanted to grow rice in a pond? Does that have anything to do with it? I watched all that stuff that you used to do. You had that health blog, um, and then you had the beginning of your stem cell surgery that you were going to get into, and all these things that you had put on camera, which I just wonder how connected we are to each other with whatever is going on over here, and what you reflect out of yourself. That's my curiosity, because I don't know really what to say right now. I've given you my stipulations about no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. Let's do our best to be contributing to society. And you've made so many songs addressing different things in the world that I think are very positive. So I don't think that I don't know, like, it's hard for me to gauge what exactly is going on with you. Are you the one that's in love with me? Yes, you are. Well, then just be real with me. Be real with me. Get off medicine. Did you say 240 pounds on the bench press, or did you say 220 pounds? Three sets of 10? I could probably, yeah. I don't think that I could compete with that. If we, I'm telling you that I want us to work out together, but I am in a female body, and so why can't we talk about things like that? The first time I can do one or two chin ups, maybe you can help me with lift me up or things like this. We need to talk about things that are exciting to us. But I'm not gonna play these games where I'm listening to you talk with other people's names when you're talking to me. That's silly. I don't want to hear that. Just it's it's all of your every single person that you know knows about me. You're not keeping any secrets. I'm not keeping any secrets. That's silly. That is silly. I think you is far back. Okay, if I go back all the way to the point where you were wearing the blue sweater like I gave to my papaw right before he died, you would have been you've known who I was since you were a teenager. And so I'm not I'm not going to go and try and say and play along with the fact that I'm some secret because it's obvious that I'm not a secret. And I'm not embarrassed about anything, really. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. What would it be? Any kind of opportunity that I have, I'm going to take it. Anytime I have any way to, improve my life, I'm going to do it. Um, at any time I think that a person doesn't want to be with me, then I'm just not going to be with them. That's simple enough. I'm not going to say, here is what 20 years of my life to be wishy-washy about whether or not some person, I'm talking to you, cares about me. Well, what in the world, man? Like, I think I had this whole thing hyped up in my head about who you were, and that might not have even been exactly neither side of that spectrum, I don't think the person that I imagined you as being might not have been actual reality, but I can't really tell because the that you're able to portray so many different um, things about yourself. So you do whatever you want. But when it comes to me, I said the deadline was May 14th, and that means that you're going to be if you're going to be coming over to my house and you're going to be wanting to hang out and we're going to do the things that I wanted to do. Learn how to do construction together. Work on the pond together. You're going to teach me about music. We're going to exercise together. And I guess you're going to have to get friendly with animals because I have made that commitment to these dogs. Those are the things I want to do. And then what we can do is get the house ready to sell it. And then we can go wherever we want to and have that money to put towards our funding. It's and you were talking about wanting to do tangible tapes or tangible CDs for your music. I would like to listen to your music, but I would more like to spend time with you. That's my answer to that. It's not, I don't want to be collecting a bunch of tapes and CDs. I want to get to know you. That's exactly what I want. So, if that's what you want to do, you need to do it. Now, I fully support you being into your passion, and I would love to be able to hear you do it around me also. But that's the thing. So I'm gonna be adamant about what I want. Maybe not, I don't. I'm gonna be adamant about what I want. There's nothing in your life which is a pathway that you should be going if you don't want to go that way. That's stupid. Okay? Just create the steps that you do want to take and start going down those steps. There is no planner out in the universe who is saying, "Here is my plan for you." Doesn't exist, okay? That does not exist. So, with the things that you have been exposed to, with the life that you have been exposed to, with what you have determined as good, which you are always going to be determining what is more good than what was previously good, and that's how you go increasing up in your standards. You're always going to have that. But that's your pathway, that's the way that you go, and you go the way you want. You go the way that you feel is the good way to go, and that's it. That is it. So if you want to walk that path together, let's do it. I am not going to, well, I don't feel like a beggar. I really don't. I don't. You were talking about teeth whitening and some other things. I know that you're going over stuff that I have mentioned. You are. Are you just trying to see how it would appear on the like on the man doing what a woman did before and see what it is like when it's flipped? Well, you know what? I'm going to keep talking to you, and you're going to keep talking to me, and we're going to get this all sorted out. Okay? I appreciate the music that you have made. I appreciate the, um, what would you say? Faith in your love has made me a person that I want to be. And that's probably the best compliment I can give you. And as I said, that first time, whenever I felt that love at the dryer drum, I knew that it was something that felt really good to me, and that is a big reason why I was able to um, have the what would you call it, the drive to create a good life for myself. I've said that so many times that if I hadn't have felt that love inside of myself, if I hadn't have heard the voice that first time call me baby cakes, and it felt so good that I can't really explain to you the difference that it feels when I have this being spirit inside of myself that loves me, in comparison to back in the days when I wasn't even sure that why I was ever even born, and didn't like and my questions were about what on earth am I supposed to be doing, why am I here on earth, and things like that. That whole feeling of being in that lowliness that I got through, and having that love inside of me, which I believe it is you, saved my soul. Saved my soul. Okay? So that is like the opposite of saying that you're selling your soul to the devil. It's like love. The presence of love is what happened, and it's not habits, good habits, and um, and and working yourself to death are not near as life saving as just feeling that inside of you, whatever it is, feeling that inside of yourself. That energy is love's energy, and that's it's hard. It's hard for me to explain it. It's very hard for me to explain it, but I know it's in there, and I can hear it. And the other thing I was gonna mention was that nobody in this world should ever be trying to get you to doubt what is occurring um, with yourself, that you know is the truth. That you know is the truth. Okay, that's just. I wouldn't be able to do that if somebody was telling me something that was going on with their self, because I'm not that person. But I can tell you, I can speak from my own experience. I can definitely speak from my own experience. There's nothing worth ever doing that is not. I mean, you just do what's good for yourself, and that seems easy enough to explain. Easy enough. So you've told me how many, like, I don't even know how many times you've said that you refuse to leave me, and you, how come I didn't ever hear you before? How come I didn't notice it until that one day? Was it that I needed to that I had to meet some certain requirements before you were allowed to move in? And when I say move in, I mean move in spiritually. How come I never heard your voice like throughout the rest of my life? And how did we get connected with each other? Can you answer some of those questions? I'm not ever going to be mean to you. There's not any point in that. I'm not going to be mean to some past version of myself either. There's just not any reason to do that. I can put my foot down about what's not acceptable to bring into the house, and that's exactly what it's talked about. Is like, don't let sin get in your door. Well, just don't bring it inside yourself. You don't you don't bring it inside yourself. You don't bring it inside your house. And you're protected. You're protected. You're protected with love, and you're protected by whatever the goodness in the world is. And there's lots of goodness in the world. There is lots of goodness in the world, and it's a lot more when you focus on what is good. A lot more. Love multiplies. It definitely does. And if you want to do good works, you can do good works. You just we got to figure out what those are. It's kind of hard when you're in isolation to figure out what is a need that you can provide when your communications with people is limited to. And I don't know, like I saw this thing pop up today that came about the circles of hell with Dante. And none of those things apply to anything about my behavior nowadays. None of them. So I don't, you know, there is absolutely nothing that I should be thinking about a punishment that would be going on. Because if you're not doing anything wrong, you have no reason to be punished. And if you're willing to work, if you're willing to do whatever it takes to, you know, put the good out, then give me the position of whatever. I mean, if I can be a mother, I'd love to be a mother. I definitely would love to be a wife. Uh, farmer, food producer, fish producer, whatever. I have the capabilities to do anything. But anyway, I care about you. I care about you. I care about you, Rengill. So I stayed up late tonight, which is unusual. I usually go to bed before 8 o'clock, sometimes before 7 o'clock. And it is, I think, around midnight now. But I think that we're going to do some getting to know you exercises. And I'm challenging myself to approach you in a loving way and not in a scolding way, because there's no reason for that. If I actually believe that telepathic communication is real, and that you are my spirit to save my life, why do I want to scold you? I'll just tell you, you already know my thoughts and feelings, but I will go through these exercises with you. That's what you want to do. You have told me about 10,000 times that you will be wanting to get married before you ever will you know, have sex or start a family with me. You have said that. We've had all kinds of conversations together inside my mind. And so that is one of the things which annoys me, is to have conversations with you inside of my head that are consistent and frequently about the same type of things, except they get expanded upon a lot. And if you're acting like that you don't know about those conversations, you need to change that and be the person who I know in here and in here outside of here. Okay? Because we have been talking with each other for a long time. And you have so many, you're talkative. You're talkative, and that's one of the reasons why I like you. I like talking, communicating. And then it's nice whenever I'm thinking thoughts, and then you have opinions and things that you think. But I don't want to get caught up in this world of conversation going on inside of my head, and it just needs to be some, like, whatever it is that we're discussing together that we're going to do needs to be put into action. Because it's easy, like with myself, I can do whatever. Putting my thoughts into action plans is what feels good to me. But if I have another voice talking with me that's not here, that makes things difficult. So we need to get these things sorted out. We need to get things sorted out. So, anyway, I was not bothered by your use of ums in your video. So, I guess it's like, all I was thinking was that, I don't know. I still think I just want to fucking get to know you, man. That's it. Okay? 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 Now, this is at 47, almost 48 minutes. We're going to go until it hits 50. 50 is our magic number. So, any questions for me? Will I marry you? That's your question? You come to my house and let me hang out with you. Now, I'm not talking about embodying me with your loving spirit. I'm talking about letting me get face to face with you and hold your hand or something like that. You can hold my hand without having to marry me first. I love you. Love you. We're almost done. Any other questions? Yes, I will. Sir. When? You'll see me tomorrow? Prove it. Prove it, prove it. You have to be telling me the truth. You have to be telling me the truth. What do you mean by see me? At my house? Our house. Okay. Good night. Good night, good night, good night. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do, 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 do. I hate to leave you, but I really must say good night, sweetheart. Good night. Do, 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 do. You know what movie that comes from? Used to be my favorite movie. See if you know, if you got the telepathy going on, you know the movie I'm thinking of. Good night, sweetheart. Good night. Do, 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 do. I hate to leave you, but I really must say, oh, good night, sweetheart. Good night.